They say success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. And becoming that person, that's your real job, not your career, not your paycheck. Your real work is on you. Every single day, before the world gets to you, before the doubt creeps in, before the distractions begin, there are 12 powerful areas you must work on. Because the difference between an average life and an exceptional one is created in the invisible disciplines you repeat daily. Let's dive in. If you're serious about transforming your mindset, your habits, your future, you can't afford to ignore these. Your mindset is the control center of your life. It's not just how you think, it's how you see. It's the lens through which you interpret every challenge, every failure, every opportunity, and every word someone says to you. Most people don't realize it, but they're not fighting circumstances. They're fighting the stories in their head. The real war is internal. It's between the voice that says you can and the one that whispers you can't. Every day, that war plays out silently, invisibly. And if you don't take control of your mindset, it will control you. What you believe about yourself shapes your reality more than any external force. If you see yourself as weak, unworthy, or unlucky, then your brain will subconsciously search for evidence to support those beliefs. You'll sabotage opportunities, downplay your achievements, and stay small, not because you lack potential, but because your mind was never trained to recognize it. On the flip side, if you believe you are strong, capable, and adaptable, your actions will align with those. Your brain will start to look for reasons why you can win instead of why you can't. That's the power of mindset. It's not just mental, it's practical. It shapes how you act, how you react, and whether you stay stuck or step forward. The world will throw obstacles at you. People will doubt you. Life will test you. But if your mindset is fortified, you'll find a way through every storm. You'll turn losses into lessons, pain into fuel, and rejection into redirection. That kind of inner strength isn't natural. It's trained. It's built through intention. It's created when you wake up each day and choose to think on purpose, not by default. You have to speak to yourself with belief even when no one else does. You have to condition your mind like an athlete trains their body, repeatedly, with discipline, with repetition. That means replacing negative self-talk with powerful self-reminders. It means questioning the thoughts that shrink you and feeding the ones that expand you. You must guard your mind like a gate, deciding what gets in and what must stay out. Just because a thought shows up doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean you should stop. Just because you failed doesn't mean you are a failure. Most people don't realize their mindset was programmed by their past, by people who were broken, by experiences that hurt them, by patterns they never questioned. But you're not most people. You don't have to live by that script. Every day you get to rewrite the story. You get to choose power over pity, growth over comfort, faith over fear, but that choice isn't made once. It's made daily. Your mindset is either getting stronger or weaker. There's no neutral. You must be intentional about what you feed your mind. Read things that elevate you. Listen to people who challenge you. Journal your thoughts and untangle the lies that keep looping. Reflect on your triggers and where they came from. You can't fix what you're not aware of. The more you understand the patterns of your thinking, the more power you have to change them. You'll start catching yourself mid-thought and replacing, reframing, reprogramming. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending things are perfect. It's about choosing empowering interpretations of life, even when it's hard. It's about saying, this is tough, but I'll get through it, instead of, this always happens to me. It's about shifting from victim to creator. Because once your mindset is strong, the external no longer breaks you. You become unshakable, not because life got easier, but because you got better at facing it. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. It's the invisible force that separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. Motivation may get you started, but it's discipline that keeps you going when motivation runs out. Everyone feels motivated in moments when things are exciting, when results are fresh, when you feel inspired by someone's success. But motivation is a visitor. it comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision. It's showing up whether you feel like it or not. It's doing the work in silence when no one's clapping, when nothing's working yet, when progress feels invisible. That's where real change happens, not in the mood, but in the muscle. People often wait for the perfect moment, the right mood, or a burst of inspiration before they act. But that wait becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a prison. Discipline doesn't wait for permission. It creates its own momentum. It understands that feelings are fleeting, but decisions define your path. Every time you act out of discipline instead of emotion, you strengthen your character. You build a track record with yourself. You prove over and over again that you can be trusted to follow through. That trust is the foundation of true confidence. When you live with discipline, your life becomes intentional. You stop reacting and start directing. You stop wandering and start walking with purpose. Discipline gives you structure. It helps you resist distractions and focus on what actually matters. In a world that's constantly trying to pull your attention in every direction, discipline is the ability to say no to comfort, no to procrastination, no to wasting time on things that don't build the future you want. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Even small actions done daily compound into massive results. That's the secret most people ignore. Success isn't a sudden leap, it's a quiet climb, one disciplined step at a time. Discipline is how you master yourself. It's how you control your impulses, manage your emotions, and keep your long-term vision ahead of your short-term desires. The gym won't always feel good. The work won't always be exciting. The learning won't always be easy, but you do it anyway because your goal is bigger than your mood. You stop looking for excuses and start finding solutions. You realize that discipline is freedom. It gives you control over your time, your habits, your direction. The undisciplined life may feel easy in the moment, but it leads to regret, chaos, and stagnation. The disciplined life may feel tough in the moment, but it leads to strength, growth, and fulfillment. It's easy to admire people who've achieved great things, but what you don't see is the discipline behind the scenes. The early mornings, the long hours, the sacrifices, the choices no one clapped for. Discipline is the foundation beneath every success story. It's what turns potential into performance. Without it, talent is wasted, goals remain dreams, and intentions never translate into action. The disciplined person doesn't just hope. They execute. They don't wait for inspiration. They create it. And in doing so, they build a life most people only fantasize about. Start with one thing, one habit, one non-negotiable action every day. Then build from there. Train yourself to do what needs to be done, even when it's inconvenient. Over time, that discipline becomes who you are. It becomes your edge. While others are distracted, you're focused. While others are stuck in cycles of inconsistency, you're building momentum. While others are waiting, you're working. Not because it's easy, but because you've decided that the life you want is worth the work it takes. Focus is a superpower in a world full of noise. It's the ability to direct your attention, energy, and time toward what actually moves your life forward. Without it, even the most talented person can get stuck in a loop of distractions, jumping from one task to another without ever gaining traction. Focus creates momentum, and momentum creates results. But this isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. You can be busy all day and still get nowhere if your energy is scattered. Focus is about depth, not just motion. It's doing fewer things, but doing them with intensity, precision, and purpose. Every day, you're being pulled in 1,000 directions, notifications, emails, conversations, scrolling, noise, and each time your attention shifts, your progress suffers. You lose time, clarity, and mental energy. Multitasking has become a badge of honor, but it's a trap. The human brain isn't wired to do 5 things at once with excellence. What looks like productivity is often just distraction in disguise. Real progress comes when you single task, when you zone in, when you shut out the noise and fully commit to one thing at a time. To master focus, you must become ruthless with your priorities. Not everything deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your attention. You need to decide what truly matters and guard it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Your dreams depend on it. Your goals depend on it. Your potential depends on it. When you focus, you take control of your life. You stop reacting to everything and start creating. Focus helps you build, while distraction keeps you stuck in cycles of starting over. The most successful people don't do more, they do less, but they do it better. They eliminate the unnecessary. They say no to the things that look good, but don't align with their vision. They understand that every yes is a no to something else, and they protect their focus like a sacred asset. You must do the same. You must learn to recognize what steals your attention, whether it's people, habits, or environments, and start creating boundaries. Focus requires discipline. It requires intention. It requires sacrifice. But it also delivers freedom. The freedom that comes from real progress, from feeling momentum, from seeing the results of your consistent effort. Focus also builds self-trust. When you consistently finish what you start, you begin to believe in your own ability to follow through. That belief becomes the foundation of your confidence. It's not about doing everything. It's about finishing what matters most. Every time you complete a focused task, you deposit into your self-worth account. You prove to yourself that you're capable, that you're committed, that you're not just a dreamer, but a doer. Clarity fuels focus. If you're not clear on what you want, you'll chase everything and catch nothing. That's why focus starts with vision. You must know where you're going before you can decide what to focus on. When you have clarity, it becomes easier to say no to the noise. You don't need to chase every trend, every opportunity, every opinion. You stay in your lane. You move with purpose. You work with direction. Focus isn't just about productivity. It's about presence. Being fully engaged in what you're doing right now. Whether you're building, learning, creating, or resting, do it with full attention. That's how you maximize the moment. That's how you multiply the value of your time. That's how you turn average efforts into extraordinary outcomes. When you control your focus, you control your future. You don't drift. You don't react. You lead. You don't wait. You work. And in doing so, you separate yourself from the crowd, not by doing more, but by doing what matters better, deeper, and with unstoppable clarity. Your health is the foundation of everything else you want to build in life. Without it, your goals, dreams, and plans lose power. You can have the best ideas, the strongest ambition, and the clearest vision, but if your body and mind aren't supporting you, everything becomes harder. Your energy drops, your focus fades, your emotions become harder to manage, and your productivity suffers. That's why health isn't just a personal goal. It's a performance strategy. When you make your health a priority, you give yourself the ability to show up strong, clear, and ready for anything life throws your way. Health is not only about what you eat or how often you exercise. It's about how you sleep, how you breathe, how you think, and how you recover. It's about creating habits that fuel you instead of drain you. Your physical body and your mental clarity are deeply connected. When you move your body, you release stress, boost your mood, sharpen your mind, and build discipline. Movement becomes more than fitness. It becomes therapy, fuel, and a reminder that you're in control. You don't need a perfect gym schedule or a complicated diet plan. You just need consistency. Small changes done daily create big results over time. Sleep is another non-negotiable. So many people are trying to hustle through exhaustion, thinking they're being productive, but they're operating at half capacity. Sleep isn't a weakness, it's a weapon. It's where your body heals, where your brain resets, and where your energy is restored. When you neglect rest, your body pays the price. And so does your clarity, your mood, and your decision-making. When you protect your sleep, you protect your mind. The food you put into your body is not just about how you look. It's about how you feel. It's your fuel. It affects your focus, your mood, your stamina, and your ability to handle pressure. When you treat food as medicine, you start noticing the impact it has on your life. You become more aware, more balanced, and more in tune with what your body needs to thrive. It's not about restriction, it's about nourishment. It's about giving your body the tools it needs to support your goals. Mental health is just as critical. In a world that moves fast and expects more, it's easy to ignore what's going on inside. But your mental health affects how you relate to others, how you handle setbacks, how you speak to yourself, and how you recover from stress. Practicing mindfulness, journaling, taking breaks, and having honest conversations with yourself are all ways to strengthen your mental health. Sometimes it means seeking help, setting boundaries, or letting go of toxic environments. There is no shame in protecting your peace. In fact, it's a sign of strength. The way you treat your body and mind is a reflection of how seriously you take your future. When you choose health, you're choosing strength over weakness, clarity over chaos, and longevity over shortcuts. You're building a version of yourself that can go the distance, not just today, but 10 years from now. You're setting yourself up to be resilient in pressure, to bounce back from failure, and to keep going when others burn out. That's why you must make it a daily priority, not a seasonal one. The best part about health is that it compounds. The more you take care of yourself, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you can do. The more you do, the more progress you make. And it all starts with simple daily choices. Drink water, move your body, get sleep, eat clean, breathe deeply, slow down, and listen to what your body is telling you. Because every goal, every plan, every dream you have depends on the strength of the vessel carrying it, you. Your mindset is the engine that drives everything you do. It's not your circumstances, your resources, or your background that ultimately determine your success. It's how you think. The lens through which you view challenges, setbacks, and opportunities shapes your reality. Two people can go through the same situation and come out with entirely different results based solely on how they interpret and respond to it. That's the power of mindset. It either becomes your weapon or your weakness. It either opens doors or builds walls. And every day you must choose what kind of mindset you are going to carry into the world. A strong mindset doesn't mean you never struggle. It means you refuse to be controlled by struggle. It means you've trained yourself to find the lesson instead of the excuse, to see the possibility instead of the problem, to keep going even when it's hard, because it will get hard. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. But if your mindset is strong, you'll find a way to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward. That's what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. It's not talent or luck. It's mental toughness. It's resilience. It's the ability to keep your mind focused on growth no matter what. Every day, negative thoughts will try to creep in. Doubt will whisper that you're not enough. Fear will tell you to stay comfortable. Insecurity will try to convince you that failure is fatal. But your mindset is what allows you to shut all of that noise down. It gives you the power to respond instead of react, to rise instead of retreat, to stay grounded in who you are and what you're working toward. A strong mindset doesn't just react to the world, it creates it. It sets the tone for how you live, lead, and love. Training your mindset is just like training a muscle. It takes repetition. You can't just think positive once and expect your life to change. You have to feed your mind every single day with books, with affirmations, with challenges, with conversations that stretch you. You have to put yourself in situations that force you to grow, to get uncomfortable, to struggle a little so your mind gets stronger. Growth doesn't happen in ease. It happens in resistance, and your mindset needs resistance to evolve. Surrounding yourself with people who elevate your thinking is part of that training. If you're constantly around negativity, drama, or small-mindedness, it seeps into your thoughts. But when you place yourself in rooms where people are pushing limits, thinking big, and refusing to settle, it raises your own standard. You start to believe in more. You start to demand more of yourself. That's how you upgrade your mindset, by upgrading your environment, your input, and your self-talk. One of the most powerful aspects of a strong mindset is the ability to delay gratification, to say no to the temporary comfort in order to build something lasting, to understand that growth takes time and that success often looks like consistency before it looks like results. A strong mindset plays the long game. It doesn't panic when progress is slow. It doesn't fold when setbacks come. It adjusts. It stays the course. It trusts the process because it knows that pressure creates strength and struggle creates breakthroughs. Gratitude is also a critical piece of mindset. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you operate from abundance. That energy is powerful. It shifts your mood, your decisions, and your outcomes. Gratitude doesn't mean you're complacent. It means you're anchored. It means you're clear on how far you've come, even as you keep reaching higher. And that balance of contentment and hunger is what creates mental peace while still driving ambition. Every day is an opportunity to choose your mindset, to feed your faith or your fear, to focus on growth or on limits, to dwell on problems or build solutions. And those choices don't just shape your day, they shape your life. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It's not motivation, not inspiration, not temporary hype that gets you to your goals. It's the daily decision to show up, especially when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the silent architect behind every success story. It's the force that keeps you grounded when emotions want to pull you off course. It's what separates those who dabble from those who don't. Because talent without discipline is wasted potential. Dreams without discipline are just wishful thinking. It's only when you do the hard things repeatedly that real transformation begins. Discipline means saying no when it's easier to say yes, saying no to comfort, no to distraction, no to excuses. It's waking up early when your bed feels warm. It's sticking to the plan when temptation whispers in your ear. It's grinding through the quiet moments when no one is watching and there's no applause, no validation, just you versus your willpower. And in those moments, you're either building strength or feeding weakness. Discipline is forged in the unseen, in the ordinary, in the repetition. It doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. It just needs to be consistent. Most people wait for the perfect moment to act. They wait until they feel ready. But discipline isn't built in the presence of perfect conditions. It's built when you move forward despite imperfect ones. When you train your mind and body to act regardless of your mood, you start breaking the emotional patterns that hold you back. You stop living by feelings and start living by decisions. That shift is everything because feelings are unpredictable. They change with the weather, with sleep, with stress. But decisions made from a place of purpose are stable. They hold the line when emotions want to fold. Discipline isn't about being harsh with yourself. It's about loving yourself enough to demand more. It's about giving your future self a fighting chance. Every disciplined action is a deposit into your future. Every time you stay consistent, you're telling yourself, I matter, my goals matter, my life matters. And that belief compounds. It builds self-respect. It builds identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who follows. You become someone who follows through. Discipline turns intentions into reality. There will always be distractions trying to pull you away. Social media, comfort zones, other people's opinions. The undisciplined mind is easy to manipulate. But when you are disciplined, you take back control. You know your path, you know your standards, and you're not swayed by every shiny thing that crosses your view. You don't chase trends, you build legacy, you're not looking for quick wins. You're building something that lasts. Discipline gives you the clarity to see through the noise and the courage to keep walking your own road. And yes, discipline comes with sacrifice. You'll have to let go of some things. You'll miss out on temporary pleasures. But the return is always greater. While others are stuck in cycles of regret, you'll be experiencing results. While others are complaining about where they are, you'll be creating where you're going. Discipline is the trade that very few are willing to make, but it's the one that changes everything. It gives you freedom, the freedom to choose your life instead of having life choose for you. Every time you show up with discipline, you're building a version of yourself that's unstoppable. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be persistent. You don't need to feel powerful. You just need to do the next right thing. And when you stack those disciplined actions day after day, they create a momentum that becomes hard to stop. That's when people look at you and call you lucky, not realizing it was discipline all along. The invisible work, the quiet effort, the repeated decisions to be better, to go further, to rise higher. Discipline is the difference between average and elite, between a dreamer and a doer, between almost and achieved. Your emotional control is one of the greatest superpowers you can develop. The ability to master your reactions instead of letting your emotions master you is what sets you apart in pressure, in conflict, and in chaos. Life is going to test your patience. People will challenge your peace. Circumstances will catch you off guard. And if you're not grounded emotionally, you'll find yourself constantly triggered, distracted, and drained. You'll say things you regret, make decisions you shouldn't, and ruin moments that didn't deserve to be ruined. That's why emotional control isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for anyone who wants to lead, grow, and rise. Emotions are not the enemy, but if unmanaged, they become one. Anger, fear, jealousy, anxiety, insecurity, they're all natural. But they're not meant to control you. They're signals, not commands. The problem is most people don't pause long enough to interpret them. They react without reflection, speak without thinking, act without intention. And in that impulsiveness, they damage relationships, destroy trust, and sabotage progress. But the person who can stay calm in the middle of noise, who can breathe instead of break, who can choose their response instead of letting emotion choose it for them, wins every time. You don't become emotionally strong by avoiding hard emotions. You become strong by learning how to sit with them, process them, and use them instead of being used by them. It's in the moments when you want to lash out but choose silence, when you want to quit but choose perseverance, when you feel overwhelmed but choose focus. Those are the reps that build emotional strength. Just like physical strength, emotional control comes from resistance. It comes from facing the uncomfortable, not running from it. You become powerful when you realize that you can feel something deeply and still not be ruled by it. Most people lose battles not because they aren't capable, but because they're emotionally reactive. They burn bridges in frustration. They give up at the first sign of discomfort. They interpret setbacks as personal attacks. But a mature mind understands that emotions are temporary, that peace is more powerful than being right, that patience is more strategic than pride. When you control your emotions, you control the temperature of the room. You disarm conflict, you make clearer decisions, you protect your energy, you respond with wisdom instead of reacting with ego. That's a rare and powerful thing in a world full of people who can't hold themselves together. It starts with self-awareness. You have to know your triggers. Know what stirs your anger, what makes you anxious, what fuels your insecurity. You can't change what you don't understand. And when you start to see your emotional patterns, you take back your power. You begin to catch yourself in the moment. You pause before reacting. You choose the long-term win over the short-term release. That's emotional maturity, not suppressing emotions, but navigating them with intelligence. Practices like journaling, breath work, meditation, or simply taking a walk can change how you respond in emotionally charged situations. Sometimes the best decision is to give yourself space. Not everything needs a reaction. Not every moment needs your energy. Protecting your emotional bandwidth is an act of self-respect. And when you protect it, you perform better. You show up with clarity. You speak with intention. You lead with balance. That's the emotional edge that champions have. They don't let pressure break them. They let it polish them. Emotional control is also about how you treat yourself. When things go wrong, do you attack yourself with judgment or support yourself with compassion? The relationship you have with yourself in hard moments defines your emotional strength. Talk to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love. Be honest, but not harsh. Be responsible, but not ruthless. Growth doesn't come from shame. It comes from clarity and commitment. And the more you train your emotions, the more your life begins to stabilize. You stop getting pulled into chaos. You stop letting other people control your state. You start living on your terms. Now, your time is the most valuable asset you have because it's the one thing you can never get back once it's gone. How you manage your time directly impacts every area of your life, your success, your relationships, your health, and your happiness. Yet most people struggle with this because they treat time like an endless resource. They fill their days with distractions, procrastination, and busy work that doesn't move them closer to their goals. But time management isn't about cramming more tasks into your day. It's about making intentional choices that align with your priorities. It's about mastering the art of focus and discipline so that every moment counts. When you learn to manage your time well, you stop living reactively and start living proactively. Instead of being pulled in every direction by urgent but unimportant tasks, you create space for what truly matters. This means setting clear goals, breaking them down into actionable steps, and protecting the time you need to work on them. It's about saying no to things that don't serve your vision, even when those things seem tempting or polite. The ability to say no is a cornerstone of effective time management because every yes you give comes at the cost of something else. You don't have to do it all. You only have to do what moves you forward. A common mistake is confusing being busy with being productive. Busy work fills your schedule but doesn't create results. Productivity is focused effort on high-impact activities. When you prioritize tasks that have the biggest return on your time, you multiply your progress. That's why it's critical to identify your most important tasks each day and give them your best energy first, early in the day, when your mind is sharpest and your willpower strongest. Tackle those tasks. Avoid the temptation to get caught up in small, urgent tasks that can wait or be delegated. This discipline creates momentum and prevents overwhelm. Distractions are the biggest enemy of time management. In today's world, distractions come in the form of social media, emails, messages, and constant notifications. They fragment your attention and steal your focus. Every interruption costs you more than just the time spent. It breaks your flow, making it harder to get back on track. Protecting your time means creating boundaries, turning off notifications, scheduling specific times to check emails, and designing work periods where you are fully present and uninterrupted. When you guard your focus, your work quality and speed improve dramatically. Another key to managing time effectively is planning. Without a plan, your day becomes a series of random decisions. But with a plan, you take control of your day instead of letting the day control you. Planning doesn't mean rigid scheduling that stresses you out. It means creating a flexible roadmap that guides your actions. At the start of each day, review your priorities and set realistic goals. Block time for deep work breaks and even reflection. When you plan well, you reduce decision fatigue and increase clarity, so you're less likely to get distracted or procrastinate. Time management also means valuing rest and recovery. Productivity isn't about pushing yourself to the limit every day. It's about sustainable effort. Taking breaks, getting enough sleep, and scheduling downtime are essential to maintain your energy and focus. When you respect your body and mind's need for rest, you avoid burnout and keep your performance consistent. Remember, working smarter means knowing when to step back so you can come back stronger. Managing your time well allows you to create balance in life. When you organize your time around your priorities, you free up space for what matters outside of work, family, friends, hobbies, and personal growth. Balance isn't about equal time for everything. It's about aligning your time with your values. It's about being fully present in each area of your life without feeling pulled in too many directions. When you master your time, you master your life. You become the architect of your days, your weeks, and ultimately your future. Your health is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. Without physical and mental well-being, success becomes much harder to sustain, and the quality of your experiences diminishes. Yet many people neglect this vital area, treating their bodies and minds as if they are invincible, or as if health can be postponed until after all the important work is done. The truth is, your health is not a side project. It's the engine that powers your goals, your energy, your mood, and your resilience. If you don't invest in it daily, everything else suffers. Taking care of your body means more than just occasional exercise or eating healthy when you feel like it. It requires consistent, intentional habits that support vitality. Moving your body regularly keeps your muscles strong, your heart healthy, and your mind sharp. Exercise isn't just about aesthetics. It's about longevity, stamina, and mental clarity. When you make physical activity a non-negotiable part of your day, you build endurance not only for your workouts, but also for life's challenges. The discipline of showing up for your health spills over into other areas, reinforcing your ability to stick to your goals. Nutrition is equally crucial. What you put into your body becomes the fuel that determines your energy levels, your focus, and your overall wellness. Processed foods, excessive sugar, and junk don't just harm your physical health, they affect your brain chemistry, mood, and productivity. On the other hand, nourishing your body with whole, nutrient-dense foods helps you feel alert, balanced, and ready to take on the day. Hydration is another key factor. Water supports every cell in your body and plays a critical role in maintaining mental and physical performance. When you commit to eating well and staying hydrated, you create a foundation that supports every other part of your life. Sleep is often overlooked, but it's the ultimate performance booster. Quality sleep repairs your body, resets your mind, and regulates your emotions. Without enough rest, your decision-making, memory, and resilience suffer. Sleep deprivation leads to increased stress, irritability, and a higher risk of illness. Prioritizing sleep means setting boundaries around your bedtime, creating a routine that signals your body it's time to rest, and minimizing distractions that disrupt deep sleep. When you honor your need for rest, you wake up ready to tackle the day with clarity and strength. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Managing stress, practicing mindfulness, and seeking support when needed are all part of maintaining emotional balance. Chronic stress drains your energy and clouds your judgment, making it harder to focus on what matters. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, or simply taking time for yourself can reduce stress and increase your ability to handle challenges calmly. Building a daily practice of mental self-care strengthens your resilience and enhances your overall quality of life. Taking care of your health also means listening to your body and mind. When something feels off, don't ignore it or push through pain or exhaustion. Paying attention to early warning signs can prevent bigger problems down the road. Routine checkups, honest self-reflection, and sometimes seeking professional help are essential parts of maintaining your well-being. Health is a lifelong commitment that requires vigilance, care, and respect. Making your health a daily priority isn't just about avoiding illness, it's about thriving. When you feel good physically and mentally, you perform better in every area of your life. You have more energy to work toward your dreams, better focus to solve problems, and greater patience to nurture relationships. Your mood improves, your confidence grows, and your overall satisfaction with life increases. The ripple effects of investing in your health touch every part of who you are. Building these habits requires consistency and intentionality. It won't always be easy, and there will be days when motivation is low or obstacles appear. But that's exactly why discipline and commitment matter so much in this area. Small daily actions, choosing a healthy meal, taking a walk, drinking water, going to bed on time, practicing calm add up over time. They compound into a stronger, healthier you. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up and caring enough to make your health a priority every single day. Your mindset is the invisible force that shapes every experience, every challenge, and every success in your life. It is the lens through which you see the world and yourself. A positive, growth-oriented mindset can turn obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, and doubts into confidence. On the other hand, a negative or fixed mindset traps you in a cycle of limitation, fear, and stagnation. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who settle for mediocrity often boils down to mindset. This is why working on your mindset every single day is not optional, it's essential. Your thoughts create your reality. What you believe about yourself and your potential directly impacts your actions and results. When you start your day with limiting beliefs, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, or this is too hard, you set yourself up for struggle. But when you cultivate empowering beliefs, I can learn, I can improve, I am capable, you open the door to growth and success. Mindset is like a muscle that needs training. The more you feed it positive, growth-oriented thoughts, the stronger it becomes. The more you allow negative, self-defeating thoughts, the weaker it gets. Developing a growth mindset means embracing challenges instead of avoiding them. It means seeing failure not as a reflection of your worth, but as a necessary part of the journey. Every mistake is a chance to learn, every setback a setup for a comeback. When you shift your perspective to this mindset, you become more resilient, more persistent, and more willing to take risks. You stop fearing failure because you understand that growth lies on the other side of discomfort. This mindset fuels progress, innovation, and breakthroughs. Your mindset also influences how you handle criticism and feedback. A fixed mindset sees feedback as a threat, something that exposes flaws and weaknesses. But a growth mindset views feedback as valuable information that helps you improve. It allows you to detach your identity from your performance and see yourself as a work in progress. This openness to learning is what separates those who keep growing from those who plateau. Every piece of feedback becomes a tool, every critique, an opportunity to get better. Gratitude and positivity are also key components of a powerful mindset. When you focus on what's going well, what you have instead of what you lack, you cultivate a sense of abundance. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. It means choosing to focus your energy on solutions and progress. Positivity fuels motivation and creativity. It attracts opportunities and builds stronger relationships. When you train your mind to find the good in every situation, you create a mental environment where success can flourish. Visualization and affirmations are practical tools to shape your mindset. Imagining yourself achieving your goals, feeling confident, and overcoming obstacles trains your brain to believe those outcomes are possible. Repeating affirmations helps replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. These practices may feel simple, but their impact compounds over time. They help rewire your brain and create new neural pathways that support success and resilience. Another essential part of mindset work is surrounding yourself with positivity. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the environments you inhabit all influence your thoughts and beliefs. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, challenge you to be better, and believe in your potential. Limit exposure to negativity, drama, and toxic influences that drain your energy and cloud your mind. Your environment should fuel your growth, not stifle it. Mindset work is about consistency. It's not a one-time event or a quick fix. It requires daily attention and practice. Some days your thoughts will be strong and aligned. Other days they'll drift into doubt or fear. That's normal. What matters is that you keep coming back, keep choosing growth over comfort, keep nurturing the belief that you can improve and succeed. When you commit to this daily mental workout, you build a foundation for lasting success and fulfillment. Mindset isn't just about thinking positively. It's about training your brain to see possibilities where others see problems, to find strength where others give up, and to keep moving forward no matter what. Your relationships are the mirrors reflecting who you are and the soil in which your personal growth either flourishes or withers. The quality of the connections you build profoundly affects your happiness, your confidence, and even your success. Yet many people underestimate the effort it takes to nurture healthy, supportive relationships. They assume good relationships happen naturally or by chance, but in reality, they require daily attention, intentionality, and emotional investment. Working on your relationships every day means choosing to communicate clearly, listen deeply, and show up authentically, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. The core of strong relationships is trust. Trust doesn't develop overnight. It's built through consistent actions that show reliability, honesty, and respect. When you commit to being trustworthy in your words and deeds, you create a safe space for others to open up and be vulnerable. Vulnerability is the bridge that deepens connections. It means sharing your true feelings, admitting mistakes, and being willing to receive feedback without defensiveness. This level of openness fosters empathy and understanding, which are essential ingredients for meaningful relationships. Communication is the lifeblood of relationships. It's not just about talking, but about how you convey your thoughts and emotions and how you receive those of others. Active listening, really hearing what someone is saying without immediately planning your response, builds connection and reduces misunderstandings. It requires patience and presence. When you listen with the intent to understand rather than to reply, you show respect and care. This kind of communication encourages honesty and creates a foundation for resolving conflicts constructively. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but it doesn't have to be destructive. How you handle disagreements reveals the strength of your relationship skills. Avoiding conflict or responding with anger damages trust and breeds resentment. Instead, approaching conflict with calmness, empathy, and a problem-solving mindset transforms it into an opportunity for growth. When you focus on the issue rather than attacking the person, and when you seek compromise rather than victory, you deepen your bond and build resilience in the relationship. Boundaries are another crucial element that many overlook. Healthy relationships require clear limits about what is acceptable and what isn't, whether in terms of time, emotional energy, or behavior. Setting boundaries protects your well-being and communicates self-respect. It also helps prevent resentment and burnout. When you respect your own boundaries and those of others, relationships become more balanced and sustainable. Consistent appreciation and gratitude also strengthen connections. People thrive on feeling valued and seen. Taking the time each day to acknowledge the efforts and qualities of those around you builds goodwill and positivity. Small acts of kindness and words of affirmation create an atmosphere where relationships can thrive. When gratitude becomes a habit, it shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, enhancing both your own happiness and that of those you care about. Investing in your relationships also means being willing to give without expecting immediate returns. Genuine generosity, whether with time, attention, or support, creates a cycle of reciprocity that enriches everyone involved. Relationships are not transactional. They are built on mutual care and shared experiences. The more you give authentically, the deeper your connections grow. Finally, relationships require forgiveness, not just of others, but also of yourself. Holding on to grudges or past hurts weighs down your emotional energy and hinders growth. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself to free your heart from bitterness and pain. It doesn't mean forgetting or condoning wrongs. It means choosing peace and moving forward. Practicing forgiveness daily clears the way for healthier, more joyful relationships. By making your relationships a daily priority, you cultivate a support system that sustains you through challenges and celebrates you in victories. You create a life enriched by connection, love, and mutual growth. The effort you invest in others always returns multiplied, shaping not only your external world, but also your inner life in profound ways. Your personal growth is the ongoing journey of becoming the best version of yourself, and it is the key to unlocking your full potential. Growth isn't something that happens by accident. It requires deliberate effort, self-awareness, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone every single day. When you commit to working on your personal development, you build the skills, mindset, and habits that empower you to navigate life's challenges and seize its opportunities. Growth is what transforms dreams into realities and potential into achievement. Personal growth begins with self-awareness, the ability to look honestly at yourself, your strengths, and your weaknesses without judgment. This clarity allows you to identify areas for improvement and to appreciate the progress you've already made. It's not about perfection, but about progress. The more you know yourself, the more you can align your actions with your values and goals. Daily reflection, journaling, or simply taking a moment to check in with yourself creates the foundation for meaningful growth. Learning is the engine that drives growth. Committing to a habit of continuous learning keeps your mind sharp and your skills relevant. Whether it's reading books, listening to podcasts, attending workshops, or seeking feedback, expanding your knowledge and abilities every day opens new doors. The world is constantly evolving, and those who stay curious and adaptable are the ones who thrive. Learning also builds confidence because it equips you to handle new situations and challenges with competence. Growth requires courage. The courage to face your fears, to try new things, and to risk failure. Change can be uncomfortable and uncertain, but it is through discomfort that transformation happens. When you push yourself beyond familiar limits, you discover hidden strengths and expand your capacity. Courage also means standing up for your beliefs, setting boundaries, and making choices that honor your true self even when it's difficult or unpopular. Habits are the building blocks of growth. Small, consistent actions repeated daily compound over time into significant change. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the idea of transformation, but breaking growth into manageable steps makes it achievable. Whether it's waking up earlier, practicing gratitude, meditating, or dedicating time to a skill, these habits shape your character and your future. Discipline in maintaining positive habits is what separates those who talk about growth from those who live it. Resilience is another critical aspect of personal development. Life will inevitably throw challenges and setbacks your way, but growth means learning how to bounce back stronger each time. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or failure, but about developing the mental and emotional strength to keep moving forward despite difficulties. It's about adopting a mindset that views obstacles as opportunities to learn rather than insurmountable barriers. When you cultivate resilience, you become unstoppable. Growth also involves cultivating emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your emotions and to empathize with others. This skill enhances your relationships, improves decision-making, and increases your overall well-being. Emotional intelligence helps you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, navigate social situations with grace, and build deeper connections. Developing this awareness daily helps you become more balanced and effective in all areas of life. Setting clear goals is a vital part of growth. Without direction, efforts can become scattered and unproductive. Goals give you focus and motivation, guiding your daily actions. When you set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, you create a roadmap for success. Revisiting and adjusting these goals regularly ensures you stay aligned with your evolving vision and circumstances. Growth is deeply tied to mindset. Believing that you can improve and that your efforts matter